Hey y'all, Dr. Walley here, and today's video should be a very popular video because I am going to talk about refractions. And the first question you may ask, what is a refraction? So a refraction is when we use this machine here that's called a Fropter, and that's how we figure out what your glasses prescription is. And so the first thing I want to clear up is that this is not a test. I know people get really stressed out about which one is better, one or two. If you answer the wrong way, you're going to get a bad glasses prescription you're not going to be able to see. But I promise you, it's not a test. And we are using our years of experience as eye doctors and listening to your answers and basing it off of a few other measurements that we already know to determine your prescription. So if you're having a really hard time with this and you're just super stressed out about it, I really hope this video kind of helps explain how all of this works and how we determine your glasses prescription so that you realize that you're not actually failing a test when you're doing this. And I'm going to use a fairly basic example for this video here, but if you have specific questions or you want to see a video about your specific prescription and you want to see how we determine that, then I'll be glad to make a video. So just leave a comment below here and tell me what you'd like to know. If there's also some things that I don't cover here that stress you out during this process, leave me a comment. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my page, leave comments, tell me what you want to see. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions for you. So let's get into this first and we'll talk about what we're doing when we're asking which is better, one or two. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find a place to start to determine what your prescription is. So if you have some old glasses with you, that's very helpful because we can use this lensometer. We can put your glasses in the lensometer like this, and it is going to give us a reading. And that number right there is your glasses prescription. So I'm generally going to take that, or I'm going to use a machine called an auto-refractor. Okay, this machine is called an auto-refractor. This may look familiar. You've probably done this before at the eye doctor. So you're going to put your chin in this chin rest here, your forehead against that bar, and we are going to align this lens with your eye. And when you look down there, do you see the road? There's a hot air balloon at the end of that road. This is going to come in and out of focus, and it gives me an estimate of what your glasses prescription is. So after we have determined what your existing glasses prescription is and or done the auto refractor on you to figure out what your prescription looks like, I'm going to have you come into the exam room and read the letters on the eye chart. So you can see we've got different size letters here. I'm sure this looks familiar to you. So if you come in and you have some glasses that you're already wearing, and you are nearsighted in this example, and if I put this row of letters in front of you and you are only able to read the top line, the 20/30 line, it likely means that your prescription needs to be a little bit stronger. Generally, you're going to need about 0.5 or 0.75 more prescription to see that bottom row from the top row. So I already have a pretty good idea about what is going on with your prescription before I've even asked you which is better, one or two. So this is called the Fropter. And when we are determining what your glasses prescription is, we are doing what's called a refraction. And to determine what your prescription is, we put your prescription into these little dials here. So for this example, let's say your prescription is a -1. So I'm going to turn this to a -1. You can see the red numbers. The red numbers indicate minus, and the black numbers indicate plus, which means you're farsighted. If we come down here, we have our astigmatism dials. This red number here is the amount of astigmatism power that you have, and this clock dial is what's called the axis of astigmatism. So the next thing I'm going to do is put this prescription in, and I'm going to show you the eye chart, and I'm going to ask you to read the letters. And again, I expect you to see about 20/30 because that's what you were seeing out of your existing glasses before. So the next step is to give you a little bit of extra prescription to see if you can see that 20/20 line. So I will put the 20/20 line on the chart and then I will click in an extra click of minus here, and I'll say, does that line look a little bit clearer? And you'll say, yes, it actually does look clearer. I still can't quite see it yet though. So let me give you another click here. So we'll give you another click, and then you can read all the letters. So my goal is for you to be able to read all of the letters with the least amount of prescription that it takes to get you to see those letters. Now, if I were to come back and say, which one of these looks better, 1 or 2? If I give you an extra click, generally when you're nearsighted, you're always going to pick the higher power. But this may not necessarily be what you need. If you can see 20/20 with this, it may not be a great idea to give you this. And so if I give you this extra power here, sometimes when you're reading or doing some up close work, it can cause headaches or eye strain. So we don't want that to happen. But some people really like that, and they don't get headaches or eye strain when they have extra power. So sometimes we have to give it to them. It's kind of one of those things that, judging off of your responses, if you really like it, I'll probably give it to you unless I find a good reason not to, depending on your age and things like that. So once we've figured out how much nearsighted correction you need, you may feel like the letters still look a little bit fuzzy. So that's where we're going to come down here, and we're going to work on your astigmatism power. So what we're going to do is see if you need any extra astigmatism power. So I'm going to rotate this dial here, and I am going to ask you which is better, 1 or 2. If you pick 2, the red lens here, the red dots, it means that you want extra power. So we'll give you an extra click of power here. And then if I say which is better, 1 or 3, you pick white, it means you want less power. So that means you're pretty much could go either way on that. The next thing we want to do is figure out what your axis is, which is this clock dial down here. So it's the same concept. I'm going to say which is better, 1 or 2. So if you pick 2, you've picked the red dot over here. So I'm going to turn this dial about 15 degrees over here. And then I'll say again, which is better, 1 or 3? If you pick 3, we're going to turn the dial back a little bit more this way. And then I'll ask again, which is better, 3 or 4? If you pick 4, we'll go a little bit more back this way. And I'll ask one more time, which is better, 4 or 5? And you say, I'm really not sure, it looks about the same. That means we've found where we want to be, and this means we're going to stop. So in general, when you're doing this, if things look the same, it means we're pretty close, and either one of those lenses is going to help you see better. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about what's going on, and hopefully you feel like that I'm not trying to trick you when we're doing this exam. I would love to go over some more examples with this because we can get way more complicated with prescriptions and other options. Like I said, I just showed you somebody that was nearsighted with a little bit of astigmatism. If you're interested in seeing another video about somebody that's farsighted or somebody that only has astigmatism, leave me some comments below the video and I'll be glad to film some more of these. Hopefully you found this valuable though. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and share this with a friend and leave a comment below if you liked it. Thanks for watching, y'all.